Hello everybody, and I'm here today to show you how to play Manafront. This is the beta version, the version 0.1, but it's a perfect way to start playing Manafront. And let me show you how. So you start from the homepage at manafront.com, and here, as you can see, you can start playing with a friend or playing versus an AI. If you play with a friend, you can create a game, then you're going to get a code that you can share with your friend. They're going to put it here and they can join the game. But in this case, we are learning how to play, and this is the perfect case to play against an AI so that you can try the game, learn the rules, see new cards, and so on. The AI is not as smart as your friend, but it's good enough for you to learn how to play. So let's start. So Manafront is a card game in which you are playing against an opponent, and your objective is to get in their health. On the top you can see here you have the opponent health that starts from 20. The objective is to get it from 20 to 0. When the opponent health reaches to 0, you win. If your health instead reaches to 0, you're gonna lose. In a card game, in this case in Manafront, how do you play cards? You play by paying for them by using mana. Mana is this like resource, blue resource here. You get one mana, one max mana per turn. So the first turn you're gonna get 1 mana, the second turn you're gonna get 2 mana, the third turn 3 mana, and so on, up until the 10th turn in which you get 10 mana, and then that's it. The 11th turn you're gonna get 10 mana. One important thing is that there is no point in saving mana. In the third turn you're gonna get 3, the fourth turn you're gonna get 4, regardless of if you have mana left over from the previous turn. So if you want and if you can, use all the mana possible. But let's start because our turn is almost over. We have 1 mana, and the only card that we can play here is this one that costs 1, and it's a foot soldier. We can place it either in the front lane or in the back lane. Let's put it in the front lane. It starts a bit tilted because it cannot attack or move the turn that it's summoned, but only at the second turn. So now you see it's not bent anymore, it's ready to attack. This works for all cards or units. When they're placed on the board, they cannot attack or they cannot move as soon as they are placed. Units can only attack the second turn because they have something called summoning sickness. This is true for almost all units, but some units, they have a specific trait called celerity that allows them to attack immediately. But we're going to see that later on. So now we have the second turn. As you've seen, the first turn we used 1 mana, but at the second turn we get completely 2 mana. So it increased 1 and everything gets refilled. So we can put this one. Vigil Spear Guard, which has a summon. On summon it gives a unit +1 attack. So let's give it to this other unit here. We give it +1 attack. And this is perfect to explain the stats. On the bottom left, we have the attack. On the bottom right, we have the health. Now, if I want to attack with these units, units can attack when they are on the front lane, and they can attack the units immediately on their left, immediately on the right, or as a direct line of sight, a direct line of attack in front of them. In this case, it's unencumbered. You don't have any permanent here to stop the attack against the opponent, and so we can attack directly the opponent. I mentioned earlier that we have some things called trait. For example, when units can attack directly the first turn without having summoning sickness. One of this type of trait is called extend. As you can see here, it's written on the description of the card. And in this case, as you see, I click on it and you see that I can attack all units on the board, not only in front on the right, in front on the left, and straight in front, but the extend trait gives the ability of attacking any other units on the board. In this case, there is no point because there is only 1 unit on the board and we are still don't have a straight line of sight until the opponent. What we can do here, though, is at the third turn we have 3 mana and we can use this card that has effect to give a unit +2 attack and +2 health. We give it to this other unit and we can show you another particularity of attacks. So for example, here you have 4 attack and 4 of health. If I attack this other unit, the standard bearer, what happens is that his health is gonna get decreased by 4, so it's gonna get -1. This card is gonna die, but also they attack back. So their 1 attack is gonna get taken from my health. So 4 minus 1, I'm gonna get to 3, and the health damage is gonna stay. So unit don't heal from turn to turns. Perfect. So now you see something about units, which is one type of cards. The other type of cards that can be played on the board are called artifacts. So for example, these healing potions, and you can imagine them as objects. Artifacts and units are called permanents, and permanents because they stay on the board. But units, but artifacts, as you see, they have durability and they have no attack. So they don't have attack and health, but they have durability. Durability is how much damage they can take, so exactly like the health, but it's also how many times they can use their ability. Because artifacts have abilities, so you can, for example, here with the healing potion, you can spend 2 mana to activate the effect as many times as you want up until the artifact is alive. So for example, here I can click on it, I can pay 2 to heal a card by 2. So let's, for example, let's first attack. I don't know, for example, this one is gonna attack the Orc Shield. You're gonna get 1 of defense, but I can pay for their ability, and now you're at to 3, so they healed up. Let's attack directly and pass our turn. So as you can see, artifact went from 3 durability to 2 durability because we used it 1 time. This is up until it reaches 0, and the artifact also dies. Let's see another thing now. So we mentioned you have units, you have artifacts, and you have also spells. In this case, you can imagine like as the player power that I mentioned in the beginning as a sort of spell that you get in your hand each turn. You can use it maximum once per turn, but even if you use it, the next turn you're gonna get it again in your hand. So let's use this and use it by clicking or dragging it into the board and letting the click go. And in this case, we can we can give a target unit +1 attack. Let's give it to the Foot Soldier. The Foot Soldier can attack the Blightborn Savage, which is gonna die. They're both gonna die because 5 minus 5 is 0 and 3 minus 4 is also -1, so they're gonna die. Now with this one I have a straight line of sight I can attack, but with this other one I don't have a straight line of sight, so I'm kind of stuck. What I can do is, for example, heal it to avoid the unit dying after attacking, and I can attack again here. As you can see, positioning is quite important here. And now you see a special card that has the other trait. So we said the trait extend, you can attack any permanent on the board. And you have also celerity, which allows you to avoid summoning sickness and attack immediately when you summon a card. But what we can do now is, for example, using a unit with summoning ability to heal a permanent, and we healed the healing potion, and now the durability is maximum. What we can do is moving this healing potion to avoid this marauder to attack the healing potion, and so like destroying the artifact. So we can kind of put it in more of defense position, and this is because the units can attack in, as I said, almost T-shape. Straight in front of them on the right, straight in front of them on the left, and also in direct line of sight. Now let's continue. And next turn, I'm gonna show you spell card. So let's wait for them to attack. The AI attacked us directly, and now we have 8 of life left, so it's quite dangerous. What we can do now is using, for example, this Longbow Sentinel that has a summon ability to deal 1 damage when it's summoned to any enemy. We can deal 1 damage to the Marauder. The Marauder dies. I move this potion as kind of defensive position if they put a unit with celerity. And we can use the third type of card. So we mentioned we have units, artifacts, which are permanents and stay on the board, but also we have spells, which they are, unlike player power, they are not always the same. And you can use them only once. So in this case, we are gonna spend 3 mana, because we have still 3 mana left. And we're gonna give 1 unit plus 3 of attack and defense. And then we can attack. And as you can see, the spell is not anymore in our hand, and the effect is applied. That card is not going to go back to us as Warcry, but it's just used and gone. Okay, they are really defending themselves. The AI, you can see on the left the action log, so everything that happened. So if you ever missed something, you can just check it here. But now what we can do is go for the winning move. We can use this card, which is Siege Golem. As you can see, it has like a foil effect. It's a legendary card. We can place it here in front, and on summon it deals 3 damage. I can kill the Ember Wisp, and now I have like a straight line of sight up until the enemy. I can attack with 6 of attack. My opponent has 6 life left. It's gonna go to 0, and I'm gonna win. And yes, this is the basic of Manafront. This is still like a very early beta version, but I'm super excited to have you try and play. If you have any question, write them here on the video, under in the YouTube comments. You can join our Discord channel to find people to play with, ask questions, and participate and give feedback. And yes, super excited to play with you and hear feedback. So this is Manafront, and yeah, let me know what you think. Have fun. Bye bye.